From how Princess Diana tragically passed away to the events leading to that, you would be fascinated to learn the difference between part 1 of season 6 and what really happened. The crown got even more emotional this time around. However, some of the facts weren't accurately portrayed in the season so far. Camilla's 50th birthday party celebration was a huge one for Charles, and he wanted the validation of the Queen so Camilla could be accepted and redeemed. While it was really true that Charles held a party to celebrate her birthday, many of the other things that happened were dramatized for the show. The party wasn't such a big event where Queen Elizabeth was expected to be in attendance. Also, there was no press to cover the event like in the show. Even Princess Margaret, who was in attendance in the series, wasn't present at the party in real life, so Charles wasn't desperate to have them all approve of Camilla. Also, the emotional speech where he revealed that he had always loved Camilla isn't real. Charles didn't make any speech. It was Tom Parker Bowles, Camilla's son, who spoke and thanked Charles for the party. The Queen's reluctance to fully accept Camilla was shown in the series, especially when she said to Prince Philip that she didn't want Camilla to be considered wicked, but the truth about this scene is that the Queen actually called Camilla that wicked woman with Charles present. And it took a while for the Queen to accept the fact that Camilla would end up being the Queen consort after she passed. As the season progressed, viewers got to see more of Diana and how her relationship with Dodi Fayed started. But before that, Dodi was in a relationship with another woman whom he already proposed to and was planning on marrying against his father's approval. His father, Mohammed Fayed, called his fiancée a gold digger and a bikini madam while asking him to come over to Saint-Tropez to meet someone else. For a while, there was a back and forth between Dodi, the fiancé, and Diana before the engagement was called off, and Dodi's ex-fiancé sued him. Interestingly, many of these facts and details are true, as Dodi was actually engaged to the model Kelly Fisher when Diana came on board, and Kelly was actually on another yacht close to the main yacht where Dodi and Diana stayed. So the back and forth depiction of that scene happened the same way in real life. Also, Kelly did in fact sue Dodi after their engagement was called off, and that's because Dodi asked her to stop working and promised to buy her a house in Malibu. Dodi's father setting up Diana with his son might look unreal to many viewers, but this actually happened in real life. Mohammed had known Diana for a while since they first met at a polo match in 1986. Also, their relationship together was very cordial, as Diana loved to shop at Harrods, which Mohammed owned. However, during the planning of Camilla's birthday party, Diana wanted to make sure she and her sons were away, so when she bumped into Mohammed at an event, she told him she needed a place for her sons to spend the summer holiday, and Mohammed was more than delighted to invite her to join him at Saint-Tropez. In the show, while Diana and the kids were on holiday, the paparazzi never stopped following them, but then something unexpected happened when Diana approached the paparazzi and had a friendly conversation where she told them they were scaring the boys. During the conversation, she promised them a surprise if they backed off, and soon after, Diana posed for them in her swimsuit before going back. This event and many other similar ones happened, according to a former Vanity Fair editor, Tina Brown. Tina revealed that Diana used to give the paparazzi poses they wanted most of the time as tips or bribes, and that's what happened with the boat scene too. Also, that's why there are always pictures of Diana on the front pages of the papers. During this trip, one of the most controversial images was taken, and that was when Dodi and Diana were pictured kissing on the yacht. However, this particular picture was said to have been arranged by Dodi's father, according to the series, but this isn't accurate as his influence on securing the kiss photo wasn't known. However, after Mohammed passed, the biographer Tom Bauer revealed that Mohammed was very happy to show him the kiss photos of Dodi and Diana. Also, Mohammed mentioned that he bought the yacht just for his son to be able to entice Diana into a relationship. The photographer who took and sold the pictures, Jason Fraser, said that Diana was the one who invited him to take the photos. While speaking to Daily Mail in 2013, he said, "She told me she'd be on the yacht somewhere in the Mediterranean. I think overall she was happy with all the pictures taken that summer. I knew that Diana had wanted the kiss photo to be taken." The bikini photos of Diana clearly overshadowed Camilla's 50th birthday party, just like it was in the show, but it wasn't a competition like The Crown made it appear to be. In the scene, Charles is very angry to see Diana taking the spotlight again, even though he wants to make it all about Camilla. And he shouted to his aides saying, "I want positive coverage of Mrs. Parker Bowles to be glaringly, screamingly obvious. Have I made myself clear?" Interestingly, this scene never happened, and there's no proof that Charles ever got that angry over Diana's media appearances. Even though he really wanted Camilla's image to be redefined in the papers, Charles didn't make it a war between Diana and Camilla. But one thing from that scene is right, and that's Charles's temper, as his former aides have confirmed that he sometimes expresses his anger in a very harsh way. Another surprising point in the season was when the Queen told Philip that Diana took Dodi to visit a psychic in a small village. In this scene, they assumed the reason for that was because Dodi needs to find out if his future is with Diana or the model he was engaged with. Although this was a very short message passed in the season, Diana actually went that far to see her favorite psychic, Rita Rogers. Like Diana, Rita had a lot of famous and rich clients patronizing her, and Rita revealed that she particularly became close to Diana at the time. She said she rang at least once a week to see how I was, as well as for readings. When she came to visit, she used to throw her arms around me. Diana believes so much in her because her readings were usually accurate. Before Diana met Dodi, Rita told her that she would meet a foreign man whose name starts with D on water. Shortly after, Diana met Dodi, who was the exact description of what Rita said. Also, Diana told Dodi, who was also fascinated, and arranged to meet Rita. So that was why Dodi and Diana went to the small village in Derbyshire to meet the psychic. Later in the first part of the season, Dodi was repeatedly pressured by his father to propose to Diana, and he found the perfect ring and started to propose before having a heart-to-heart conversation with Diana on how they shouldn't marry because the world or his dad expects them to. However, most of the details surrounding the ring itself are true, as the ring Dodi got had a dis-moi oui written on it, which means tell me yes. So it was indeed an engagement ring bought for the purpose of proposing. Dodi had plans to propose like in the show, but he never got the chance to start, let alone have an honest talk with Diana over it. Instead, they were both very disturbed by the chaos around them as the paparazzi followed them everywhere they went. After the terrible accident, the ring wasn't with Dodi, but at his apartment where they were heading. Charles's actions before Diana passed were very annoying and sad, but things changed later with Charles disturbing the Queen to give her a royal burial. The Queen finally gave in after seeing how many people were grieving for Diana and wanted to be a part of her funeral. But this didn't happen in real life, as Charles didn't have to convince the Queen to perform a large ceremony for the public's approval. Instead, immediately after the palace heard of the crash, they started planning a huge and well-deserved funeral service for Diana. So everything was arranged immediately, and there was no debate on how it wasn't necessary. It was a responsibility that the palace took upon itself without being asked. The news of Diana's passing was hard on everyone, especially her young little boys. In the show, William even grieved his mother in a very scary way by going missing for 14 hours and made everyone concerned. The Queen and every other member of the royal family set out to look for him without finding him until he came back home by himself. Although this showed how the 15-year-old expressed himself in the series, William never disappeared for that long, let alone making everyone worried. As the heir to the throne, William was always being monitored and could never go too far without someone knowing. Also, after Diana's demise, they were never left alone, as the Queen made sure to stay with the children and help them get over the loss of their mother. In 2016, William spoke about how the Queen supported him after the crash, saying, "Having lost my mother at a very young age, it has been particularly important for me that I had somebody like the Queen to look up to and who has been there and has understood some of the more complex issues when you lose a loved one." So the royal family looked to each other for comfort, and William's disappearance in the series was only for dramatic purposes. Share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.